What is up, guys? And we are back for the Commanded Takes, and we are here today because this is where the season kicks off. We're gonna now start doing basically weekly uploads for preseason. So we're doing weekly preseason uploads and games and recaps and overviews before every game. And we're gonna head that over to the regular season too. We're trying to make sure that we can do our episodes this year completely different, and we're gonna try to make sure that we can stay consistent. That's on my side because I'm not consistent. Chris is gonna get on my ass about it. But yeah, so anyways, Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good. What's up, everybody? It's Commanders Chris. You can find me on Instagram at Commanders Chris and TikTok at Commanders Chris. And yeah.
Yeah, so guys, Chris went through a name change like we all did. He had to go through the rebrand and all that, So if you want to find him, I'll make sure I put his link down in the description below. And yeah, so let's get started off with the big thing, and we're just gonna briefly touch on it because it was a couple weeks ago. We signed back Terry McLaurin. Yay. Terry's back in Washington for 3 years. Chris, let's get you some of your thoughts on the whole Terry McLaurin re-signing. Obviously, I know you're happy about it, but let's just hear, you're a part of it.
Well, obviously, it was a good thing that we signed him back, and it was a thing that we definitely needed to do. You gotta for sure show it, and it also shows to the other players on the team. If you ball out and you do this what you need to do, that you will get rewarded, you will get paid, and Terry McLaurin definitely earned every bit of his contract.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could have got 4 years, but you gotta understand it for Terry McLaurin that he gets his 3 years and then he gets to hit the market again. Gets to hit the market again for another check before he's 30. So I understand.
Yeah. With Terry McLaurin, it's obviously, I'm really happy that we got him re-signed back because, he's basically one of our franchise cornerstone wide receiver. We've seen that in recent history with Washington as we had guys like Garcon, who was our face of the wide receiver room, Santana Moss for all of the 2000s, and, Monk and et cetera. So, with his name being, with his career obviously excelling in Washington, he'll be in those big name, group of guys that we've had in the past. I'm glad we got that contract done. And by looking at the entire wide receiver market as a whole, I think that we kind of got him for a little bit of a steal. If you're looking at the guys like Deebo Samuel, how much guaranteed money that they're getting, and we look at AJ's guaranteed money. We look back on it, and Terry's contract, looking at everyone, looks really good so far. I was thinking it was going to be over $100 million or whatever. And I'm pretty sure, I think I said something like 3 years, 80, 90 million. And the Chris was like, no, bro, we're signing him for 100 million, blah, blah, blah. And I felt so stupid. So thank God he signed back for 73 mil. So I felt a little smart at the end of the day. But now we're going to move on towards the other part of Washington, the other little dispute or whatever is Daron Payne. Chris, I'll let you start with Daron because I don't know your mixed feelings about it. So let's hear about it.
Daron Payne is a really good player. I think that we have a lot of good players on the defensive line, and it's gonna be hard to keep all of them. And I feel like if I do like Daron Payne a lot, he's great run stuffer. He was top 6 in run stuffing last year, and I think he's a great part of the line as well. But I feel like at the end of the day, bro, if you go with everybody on our line and you look at them one by one, I mean, I think that out of everybody, Daron Payne is the one that I would let walk first out of everybody on the defensive line. So. And plus, we just drafted Mathis, so if he walks, hopefully Mathis can step right in and fill his spot. So I feel like that the deal is not going to get done this offseason for sure, because I know Ron Rivera said in multiple press conferences that it might not. A lot of the deals might not get done this year. It might be the next year. So hopefully we can get him the next year. I know he had a little controversy of not showing up to practice or showing up to practice and then walking out But it seems like they got that resolved now, and he's been at practicing. So I feel like they're good, and they're going to work on it next offseason, and we'll see if we can get him locked up.
Yeah, no, that's apparently, according to Daron Payne, all of the rumors and whatnot were false accusations or whatever, that he walked out or whatever. Apparently that was all false. And so now, like Chris said, everything's resolved. Hopefully we can keep Payne. If not, we always have Mathis, our D line. If there's one thing that Washington, I guess, is really good at, is drafting dudes from Bama. And that are good too. So hopefully, that'll work out and whatnot. So now we're going to move on to kind of another topic. Chase Young, I know that's one thing I forgot to tell you about. So rumors are saying that Chase Young, obviously, which is expected, he will not be there week 1. Do you think Chase Young not being there for a couple of weeks is going to be a big problem for us? Or do you think, since when he left last year, technically we were a top 5? We were a top 5 run defense when he was out last year. Now, I'm not saying that Chase Young was the problem, but do you think that the front 7 can hold basically until Chase Young gets back?
Well, just to touch on that point about being top five without Chase Young, I feel like Chase Young is a great run stuffer in general. I think it's his pass rushing that needs to work. I feel like when Chase Young and them was all on the field, they were basically just playing selfishly. They was all going for the sack total, their own sack totals, and not playing as a team defensive line. But anyways, the thing is, I think that Chase Young definitely won't be ready week one from what I'm hearing. It's gonna hurt. If he goes into the season on the PUP list like they're saying, and he's gonna have to be out. I think it was 4 weeks minimum, or 6 weeks, but I'm pretty sure it was 4. Our first 4 games is the Jaguars at home, the Detroit Lions away, the Eagles at home, and the Titans, I believe. So I feel like either way, we could start 3-0 without Chase Young. The Eagles game is a game that we could also lose and be 2-2 at the start, but we should be 3-1 to start the season, even without Chase Young, honestly. With the Jaguars at home should be a win. The Detroit Lions on the road should be a win, and the Eagles should be a win.
Yeah, no, fun fact. I will be at that Detroit game. So yeah, hopefully we don't lose and I don't have to drive home 4 hours and cry. But so now next topic is I feel like when we did our Carson Wentz video, it was we didn't bring in, Wilson, we didn't bring in Rodgers, I'm just gonna say it again. We didn't bring guys like Hightower in, we didn't bring AJ Johnson. We didn't even go and try to get Anthony Barr. We stuck out for someone even way better than both of them, because now we're gonna turn into the Eagles, man. We got Nathan Geary. I'm gonna let Chris talk because I know he's such a Nathan Geary fan, and I know that from the bottom of his heart he just loves Nathan Geary. So, Chris, please tell us about Nathan Geary.
Nathan Geary is a tweener linebacker. I know Ron Rivera said that he wanted somebody that could cover and run. Nathan Geary, he can cover, but it's because he's a former safety. He played safety in college. He can run. He can cover pretty good because he's a smaller linebacker. He's supposed to be faster, but he's not going to tackle nobody. He's one of those guys that like to jump out and do the Superman, avoiding tackles. Like, he's not going to tackle nobody, bro. No running back is fearing Nathan Geary on the open tackle, bro. They're going to plummet Nathan Geary. If you go search Nathan Geary up on Twitter right now, it's nothing but Eagles fans bashing him. Nathan Geary is a scrub. We could have had A.J. Johnson, Dante Hightower. I said A.J. Johnson already, I think. But we had multiple guys out there. Reuben Foster is better than Nathan Geary still. I don't care. There's a lot of guys that I would have took over him. Joe Schobert. There's a lot of guys that I would have took over Nathan Geary. Nathan Geary is a scrub, and I don't expect much. Hopefully he can be better. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be hard to be better than David Mayo, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. So now let's go. So today it came out of reports that Roquan Smith has requested a trade out of Chicago. Now, obviously, I am not trying to sit here and say that we are going to get Roquan Smith. Hypothetically, Chris, what are you offering to get Roquan Smith? And if you're Washington, will you extend Roquan Smith?
Whoever gets them, not even just us, is gonna have to extend them, because I'm pretty sure the reason he wants to leave Chicago is a mix of definitely more of him not getting the money and the little mix of the Chicago Bears just being horrible. But at the end of the day, whoever gets the trades for Roquan Smith is gonna have to extend them, not pretty much automatically once they trade for him. The thing is, I would trade for Roquan Smith. I would at least hope that Washington would make a call for Roquan Smith. I'm not going to say anything about Washington getting Roquan Smith, because we know Washington, we're not making no moves. We just signed Nathan Geary. That pretty much sums up everything. We signed a wide receiver yesterday. What's his name? Matt Cole. Yeah. Matt Cole. When Will Fuller is still on the market. So we don't make moves. So I'm not gonna say we're gonna sign him. With Washington. But the thing is, I would at least hope we're making calls. As for what would I give up, I'd probably give up our first round pick the next year, and maybe like Daron Payne, since he's probably gonna leave anyways with his contract extension coming up. Because I'd rather pay Roquan Smith than Daron Payne. So I mean, I think I would trade like Daron Payne, a first rounder next year, and maybe something else. And I think that's probably what I give up, but I think more of a thing where I would have to hear what the Bears would want a starting price as for Roquan Smith. But I would really be making calls.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, we all basically know that the linebacker position in the NFL is starting to kind of fade away into the midst. We're seeing a lot more safeties that are being placed into the box and whatnot. There's only very few linebackers in this league who can play that true linebacker position and play good coverage, play good run stop. I mean, guys like Bobby Wagner, Roquan Smith. I would not mind having Roquan Smith on the team. And I personally, like Chris said, we're Washington. We're not going to do it. As I said before, I asked the question. It's more of a hypothetical question. Even if we did want to make the call, apparently we stuck out and just wanted Nate Geary and whatnot. But yeah, I really want Roquan. I hope we make the call. If we don't get him, I won't even be upset or shocked. It's just we don't go for anybody, whatnot. We were supposed to have Marcus Williams, Chris Olave, we stuck out and just did neither
A
one.
lot of guys. I mean, we should also make a call for Deion Jones. He's a guy that's pretty much kind of out there still. And I mean, he's not out there, but he's probably tradable at
Yeah.
least. He's not untouchable like other years, and I feel like that he'd definitely be a lower price than Roquan Smith is. So
Yeah, no, we could use a lot. I don't know. I think what Ron is trying to do this year is he's trying to go from he's not trying to look at the big names. He's going for guys who he knows that can play and blah blah blah. I think it's a bunch of crap. Now, if we win games and all that, the way that Ron Rivera is doing it, whoop-de-doo, I'm whatever. But I don't know if we lose and all that. Let me ask you this though, from Chris, by missing out on all these guys, like when we miss out on Olave, Hamilton, Garrett will no. Yeah, did we have a chance to get Garrett Wilson? No, he went to the Jets. Never mind. Marcus Williams, all these big name, even guys like Russell Wilson. Do you think that since Ron Rivera was not so on top of trying to get these kind of guys, do you think this puts Ron Rivera on kind of a hot seat this season if he doesn't perform, or do you think it kind of just leaves it at a standpoint or like a standoff between management and Ron Rivera? What do you think? Does Ron Rivera go on the hot seat if they don't perform win more than 7 games this year?
I mean, definitely. I think that his seat's pretty cold at least right now.
Yeah.
But I think that if he goes under the 7-win total that we had the last 2 years, I think it definitely starts to get warmer. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they fire him exactly, but I do think that it's definitely going to start to get hot. Mm-hmm. We had a chance to get a lot of those guys. Ron Rivera just wasn't what's the word? He wasn't trying hard enough, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like he didn't try as hard enough to get a lot of the better players in the market. Jahan Dotson's a baller, but, you can't pass up on, like, a guy with gold jacket potential, you know what I'm saying? And I hope Jahan Dotson gets a gold jacket one day. But, Kyle Hamilton, I really feel like can make the Hall of Fame one day, But the thing is, bro, I feel like we waste a lot of our time going for guys that Ron Rivera thinks fits his mold when we could get a lot of the better players. Like you sign Matt Cole and giving guys like Matt Cole a chance, but you want to sign guys like Will Fuller because he doesn't fit your mold, I guess. You signed Nathan Geary instead of when you had a chance to sign Anthony Barr, you let Anthony Barr walk straight into the Cowboys' lap. You're just not trying hard enough. You got to do better.
And with that, I mean, the Cowboys probably now have the best linebacker core in the East. I mean, they got Van Der Esch, they have Parsons, and we know a thing or two of what Parsons can do. And now they add Anthony Barr. It's just insane. And now we're gonna go on to the very main topic of this whole entire video. Will be NFL training camp. Now, this training camp has shown us, from what I've seen, has showed us a lot about some of our. I've heard honestly more about our rookies excelling in our training camp that I've heard people on our roster that's been there for years. Obviously, you got guys like Terry who's balling out per usual, but we have guys like Cole Turner, our fourth string tight end. Because I don't even know who's going to be starting tight end week 1. It's going to be between Logan, Bates, Reyes, Turner. Or Curtis Hodges. Curtis Hodges has been a guy I've heard all camp is there. Okay. He's been balling out. Heineke loves him. Wentz loves him. So Chris, what have you been thinking about training camp so far? And what do you think, how do you think the team's looking out in training camp? Is there anyone that's caught your eye specifically?
All right. Well, first off, I'm gonna start with this. Training camp has been pretty good for my football team. No fights like the Giants. No, like controversial stuff going on there too much. And I think the defense has been, for the most part, whooping up on the offense, which is, obviously you should expect that with the defense being together longer, having more chemistry than Carson Wentz just getting there. Carson Wentz, he's been up and down, but you expect that with a new quarterback coming into the system. Terry McLaurin's been good as usual. Jahan Dotson has really caught my eye, man. He's better than what I expected him to be. A lot of people saying that there's some players on the team that think he's better than Terry McLaurin was already. And I think that that's really good to hear. Not even a knock on Terry McLaurin. It's more of just a thumbs up to Jahan Dotson's greatness already as a rookie. You know, they say he plays like a vet. Cole Turner, he's definitely a standout. I didn't really look into him much before. You know, I know Nico loved Cole Turner once we picked him up, but Cole Turner has been a dog. Curtis Hodges is a guy right now. He's gonna probably slip his way onto the roster. So I did like Curtis Hodges coming into training camp. Amani Rogers is a stud tight end. It's a lot of tight ends. I think that Cole Turner is going to get the start week 1 once he gets back healthy. I know they said he hurt his calf or something, but he's going to be tight end 1 most likely with John Bates right behind him, because John Bates is just not a better receiver than Cole Turner is. Right. And I think that's really Brian Robinson also is a standout. You know, they saying he's better. They thought his routes and his hands is much better than people expected. So that's another standout. You know, Jamin Davis, you know, he's there, you know, he's doing what he can. And I heard that the last couple of days he's looked the best he's ever looked. So that's good to hear. And, you know, everybody else has been doing is good. You know, Montez Sweat, last guy. Montez Sweat, they saying he looks better, looks like he has way more pass rushing moves and he's not just using his speed anymore. So I'm really excited to see what Montez Sweat's going to do with Chase Young being out. He's definitely going to have to step up and create a lot of the pressures to make up for losing Chase Young for the first 4 weeks of the NFL season.
Yeah. I mean, one thing specifically too to really bring up is that Kendall Fuller, and obviously Kendall Fuller, year in and year out, he's obviously doing his thing too. He's been apparently locking up guys. He's been the only one giving Wentz any issues. And another guy too, I really feel like Kristen, I didn't really bring up, and I've been seeing a lot, is Christian Holmes. They are 7th round draft pick. He's also had a really strong start to the training camp. Also, he's apparently getting a couple picks, breaking up passes by Wentz and Howell and Heineke, and that's awesome to see a guy in the 7th round really try to overperform. I haven't heard a lot about Percy Butler yet. I don't know if Chris has, but Percy Butler's been kind of in and out. I've heard like some things, but it's not like they're giving more praise to Christian Holmes than anything in the world, which is awesome to hear. And another guy too that apparently I just looked at my phone before we did this video, Antonio Gibson running with 2nd team today. And I think they have Brian Robinson running 1st team, I believe. I don't know if that's how that works, but Chris, do you think now in the hypothetical sense that B-Rob could take the number 1 running back spot for week 1?
Not for week 1, definitely not. But maybe farther into the season if Gibson was continued to fumble. I didn't hear about the Gibson running with the 2s today. I definitely got to check that out after this video. But the thing, if he fumbles his way out of the position through the season, or he like continues with the injury stuff, like Gibson gets injured all the season. You know, last year he was tough enough to play through all the injuries last year, so I definitely respect that. But at the end of the day, he does get injured a lot. So if he continues to get injured and continues to fumble, they're gonna take him and they're gonna just split it, or he's gonna fall out of the 1 role. So, and I think Brian Robinson can take over that role well. On to what you said about Percy Butler, yeah, I also haven't heard a lot about Percy Butler, but he is a great safety. I do think he's gonna be the best range-free safety we have on the team once he gets the techniques down. You know, I feel like he's just a loose player. He's kind of raw, but he's gonna contribute on special teams early. And Christian Holmes, yeah, he's been a unit. I know I've heard a lot of great about Christian Holmes' last pick mentality, and I think he's definitely gonna fight his way onto this team.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of guys that a lot of more of our undrafted guys, or a lot more of our guys we're signing on, they're fighting for spots. They're the ones that I've heard a lot about throughout the training camp or whatnot. But yeah, no, it was Pedro Smith, by the way, Chris. He said Antonio Gibson running with 2nd team today. Only reason kind of why I brought it up is I don't know if we as fans or whatnot should be concerned. I don't know. I'm not trying to sit here and be like, oh, like Antonio Gibson's just going to be bad, blah, blah, blah. I want to see Gibson do good. I love Antonio Gibson. I want to see B-Rob succeed too. I think, down the line, I think that there's a legitimate shot that B-Rob could take Gibson's spot this year. If Gibson, like Chris said, and, Gibson even had fumbling issues. Is that not fumbling issues? He had 1 fumble the other day during a training camp or whatnot. And another guy I want to talk about too, Mr. Hamstring, Mr. Curtis Samuel. You think we're gonna have Curtis back week 1, or do you think Curtis is gonna be out? What are we thinking about Curtis?
I mean, Curtis Samuels for sure should play week 1. If he doesn't play week 1, I'm done with Curtis Samuel. You gotta start looking to get rid of him after this season, bro, before you continue to just pay money for somebody that's not playing. Because here's the thing, bro. He's not playing football every day, bro. He's playing football. Maybe he'll play Monday and then he'll be back Thursday. Like, bro, and then you have the reports about him not being in football shape. I mean, you're not gonna be in football shape when you can't practice back to back because of a plan. That's BS, bro. I'm not taking that, bro. It's not about no plan. What's happening is Curtis Samuel practices one day. He starts feeling his bobos. He wakes up in the morning feeling all tight, and he goes, Ron Rivera, I can't practice today, and they let him sit down. And it's a plan because they're scared that he's gonna get hurt. And I don't like this because it's a year later, and you still scared of him re-injuring himself. And that's you're babying a player that's been a 1K yard receiver, 5+ touchdown receiver in his career, and you have to baby him because you're scared that he's gonna pull something. And I mean, they said it's not about that injury from last year. So what is it?
Yeah, no, it's a ton of things, but I think that's gonna wrap it up for today. Yeah, like I said, it's a lot of fun doing these, and we're gonna start getting consistent. Yeah, also look out during the week because we're going to be doing our Carolina Panthers preseason, overview. We're going to be discussing on what we should be expecting. Obviously, you guys are going to say, well, these guys are, third stringers, fifth stringers. Why does it matter? It's going to matter because if, like Curtis Samuel goes down mid-season, I ain't trying to have Carson Wentz throwing the football to Alec Erickson, the punt returner, like how we were using DeAndre Carter last year. I want some guys to step up. I want there to be guys that we can trust and whatnot, especially at depth too. I feel like our depth guys really need to show out this year. We saw last year with COVID, offensive line injuries, all that. We needed guys to step up. So we really need to figure out if, who's going to really be that guy to step up, because we know Washington, our guys will get hurt. It's going to happen and whatnot. So I'm really interested to see. So this week, once rosters come out, once we're going to see starting lineups and all that, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to run through the Panthers, what we expect. We're not going to really sit here and predict if we win or lose or whatnot, because it's the preseason. I don't think Chris cares about the preseason. I don't care about the preseason either. We're just going to be kind of doing overviews and whatnot. We'll be recapping games and whatnot. So that's it for us today. Chris, you have anything to say before we head out?
Nah, man, I'm good.
All right. So thank you guys for watching today. I'm going to leave Chris's stuff down below, and yeah, have a good day.